I'm going to play a new campaign. Well, 2 campaigns to be precise. The first one I'm going to do on very hard difficulty for about 20 or 30 turns, taking note of things that happen along the way and how far I get. And then I'm going to do the same campaign on Legendary, where I'm going to try and closely mimic what I did in the very hard campaign, and boy will we see a difference. The AI will get more growth, a bigger recruitment cap, better replenishment, cheaper construction, and the big one, less army upkeep, and that's not even all of it. So we're aiming to find out how hard Legendary really is. Now to do this, I thought I'd use a campaign I know pretty well, and that's going to be my boy Wurrzag.
My mystic powers.
So starting off in the very hard campaign, I'm going to skim through this pretty quick and try to remember everything I do to replicate it in Legendary. So first off, we've got our starting army, and I'm going to embed my hero in there and go after this first enemy force. And I am going to fight this battle to get the best results and get a nice strong start. So smash bonky smash smash, we're going to take this army out without taking too much damage at all. And that's going to allow us to keep rolling and take our first province no problem. But for now, I'm going to fall back to my lands and recruit a few more boys before attacking the next settlement, as it does have quite a big garrison. So less damage to take if we can overwhelm them with numbers, as the greenskins should. So again, smash bonky smash smash, get this battle done nicely. Then I'm going to opt to loot and occupy the settlement to get that nice bit of replenishment. And then because we just knocked out the leader of the faction, we get to confederate them. So that's another settlement taken just to the north of us in Bitterstone Mine, which means we've only got the 1 settlement left to take in this province to complete it in Stone Mine Tower to the north. So we're going to start heading towards that. And I'm going to switch a couple of my buildings around here. I've got a tier 3 in the tier 5 settlement and a tier 4 building in a tier 3 settlement, so those need a switching. Now I come to realize that there's an ogre army just hanging around in my lands raiding me, so I figure I should probably get rid of them. And while it is quite small, I figure I can destroy it very easily, but I'm going to take the nice option and simply ask them to leave. Because ogres can definitely be reasonable, right? Right? Anyway, I keep pushing forward towards Stone Mine Tower. That means declaring war on the Scabbii, which is fine. Again, if we can smash their leader, we can just take all their stuff. Their leader, however, not at this settlement, but we can still take this settlement, complete our first province. Progress. Moving through the turn, I get a non-aggression pact from a random Skaven faction. I decide to accept. A little further on, and I'm ready to push and attack the last bits of the Scabbii, and conveniently, their leader is in the settlement I'm about to attack, Spite Backbiter. So if we take him out, we can get another confederation. That's another easy bunch of settlements. And generally in this campaign, I try to push north and take out the dwarfs, because they usually always end up being a problem. So that's what I'm trying to do here. That's why I'm going to keep pushing in this direction. I'm going to auto-resolve this battle, get that victory, occupy this, confederate that. I've now gained the extra settlement of Barag de Wazbag, which comes with this little army which has a bunch of boys in it, which might be handy at this stage, although I am going to get rid of the gobos to save some money. I'm now looking to get after Barak Var. For that, I'm going to need armor piercing, so I'm recruiting some trolls and just generally sizing up my first attack on Barak Var. So we're at turn 10 at this point, going in for Barak Var, trying to get rid of them nice and quick before they get too much time to react, taking out their main settlement, their big army quickly. So bringing over my big main force to try and take them out, but we see it's going to be a close defeat. I may be able to win if I fight it, but I've got my other army, going to bring that over to help out, see if that can maybe get us a Pyrrhic victory at least, but nope, still a close defeat. It is a siege battle, so probably winnable, but could be quite costly, so I'm just going to wear them down, and with any luck, maybe they'll sally out. Moving through the turn, and local sexy man Scrag approaches me, demanding he gets paid for that boot he called the other day, or he's going to come at me. So I decide it's wise to keep Scrag on side at this point. We shall accept, because 900, not really a big deal. Just take it, stay out of my way while I deal with the dwarfs. As my siege continues though, I notice a smaller Barak Var army may be coming for my de Wazbag settlement, so I send back my smaller army to defend just in case, as they're not really needed with the siege anyway. Rolling through the turns, and I get approached again, this time by Queek from the local Rat Boys, Clan Moors. He's looking for a non-aggression pact, and as he's at war with a couple of greenskins factions that I'll probably be fighting anyway, I accept so I can avoid fighting him for a while. And then I come to notice that, oh, those ogres are still there then. I'm glad they listened, glad that's all worked out. He sat there raiding me. It's only 75 though, so not a huge issue. I figure I'll deal with this later, not a big deal. I should have just destroyed them, but that's what you get for being nice. Back to my siege, and I can now get a Pyrrhic victory, but it's going to cost me a fair bit of my army, so I'm going to keep waiting just an extra turn or two to hopefully get it so I don't lose any units. Moving through the turn, and the Top Knots want to have a chat, looking for a non-aggression pact, but I notice that they're at war with Skarbrand, who I'm very aware is to the south of me, and I do not want to piss off Skarbrand at this point, so I'm going to say no to them. Last thing I need is that big oaf rolling into my unprotected lands. And it seems unlikely that the Top Knots will come after me anyway, given that they're at war with Skarbrand. Into turn 14 now, and I notice a big old Wurrzag army nearby, which unnerves me a little bit. We're not at war with them, but that is a full stack, and if they do declare war, they're taking Wurrzag. So it's a little bit of a worry that they're there. My Barak siege, though, is now ready to be completed. I can Pyrrhic victory with no losses. Gonna do that, just have to get the replenishment back. But there's Barak severely hurt. We're gonna occupy this settlement, just take it nice and clean, no looting, more progress. Nice. Again through the end turn, more diplomacy, this time from the Crooked Moon, looking for a non-aggression pact. As they are a faction I need to take out, and because they are at war with Clan Moors, who I'm trying to be somewhat friendly with, I am not going to accept this gracious non-aggression pact offer. At turn 16 now, and I'm looking to finish off Barak. They've got one settlement left, one little army there. They are recruiting, so I'm looking to act fast before they get a full stack there. And moving on to the next turn, Scrag is back again, this time looking for a non-aggression pact, which sounds like a good idea initially. So I check out who he's at war with, and the ones near me, a couple of Empire factions and Aranessa. I can handle going to war with any of them, so I'm going to accept and keep Scrag off my back for now. But on to the next turn, and something rather strange has happened, as that Barak army that was just recruiting there has now vanished, literally. I thought maybe it had gone into ambush stance, but I decided to take the chance and push the settlement anyway. Nobody there, and they haven't even fixed up the settlement, so I don't even have to fight anything. A straight-up occupy. Very strange. Maybe they disbanded the army for some reason. They're destroyed now anyway, so sweet. At turn 17, things are looking pretty good here. We got 2 full provinces. It hasn't been too much trouble at all. We're not in any unnecessary wars. I've been careful in diplomacy to not piss anyone off. So how hard is it going to be to achieve this exact same thing, but in Legendary? That's what we're going to find out in a sec, but first, just to show you how far I went with this campaign before I decided to stop. Over the next turn, I did get declared war on by Karak Hern, the dwarfs a little to the north of me, but they're not a huge threat. They'd have to get across Scrag to get to me anyway, so not a big deal there. Eventually, I pushed on Wurrzag, declared war on them, attacked their main siege settlement, which I did opt to fight straight away because there was a full stack of dwarfs off to the east which would have come and saved them, which I did manage to win with a little bit of siege and cheese, just taking the victory objective, which the AI doesn't apparently know how to get to. And long story short, I was able to take out Wurrzag and get myself 2.5 provinces before calling it a day. Very nice, turn 22, that's all done. I'm ready to move down south and start working on the victory conditions. Okay, now to the Legendary version, where we see if we can replicate that very hard run, and remember all the little details as we go, the diplomacy, the armies we faced, and the friends we made along the way, which was none. Onto the Legendary version, and we're going to move pretty quick now. Embed hero, attack starting army, smash bonky smash mash, take car, go to mums, kill Phil, grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint and wait for this to all blow over. Oh no, sorry, wrong plan. Take the settlement, smash bonky smash mash again, loot and occupy, confederate small boy, then simply replenish and recruit, ready to move on. Very nice. Okay, we're up to where we were before, pretty much exactly the same. Our public order is a bit worse though, it's a -8 penalty in Legendary rather than -4 from very hard. So you've got to be a little bit more careful of your control, and that loot and occupy is really going to hurt us in Legendary, I think. But I come to notice something as I'm stood here, I'm taking attrition. For some reason, this definitely didn't happen in the very hard version. For the life of me, I can't figure out where this attrition or corruption is coming from. It says blighted by chaos, but I searched high and low across the various tooltips and I couldn't find anything showing that I was taking corruption to my lands from anywhere. So really not sure what this was about. If you've got any ideas, if you're a Legendary player, maybe you know, let me know, because I got no freaking clue. Either way, wasn't a huge deal. I can just encamp and avoid it anyway. Maybe it was just a bug, who knows, but either way, that's one of our first differences between very hard and Legendary, random attrition, as well as the public order difference, which you can see at the moment it's looking pretty bleak, so that's quite a substantial difference. Moving on, those ogres are still sat outside my settlement, but just as the first run, I'm going to leave them alone. I do forget to tell them to leave at this point, but obviously we saw that didn't really make a difference anyway. And standing at the edge of my lands here, it occurred to me that, hey, maybe I'm taking some kind of desert attrition here, because, you know, the Badlands are kind of deserty. So I moved over into my enemy's province, and, oh, no attrition, so I guess it's not that. So for some reason, my lands are infected with attrition, for reasons I do not know. Moving on to the next turn, though, and we get a plague. Very nice. That didn't happen last time, so a higher chance of plagues, perhaps, coming with Legendary. But, you know, that is a chance thing, so maybe I just got unlucky on this particular Legendary run. It could happen in very hard as well, so just one plague. No big deal, right? Moving forward, though, looking to get the last settlement in this province to complete it. Declare war on the Scabbii, go forward, smash them, take this settlement. Nice. Now at this point I get a warning that rebellion is imminent. My public order is pretty bad. That's that loot and occupy, I think, really hurting me. So I decide to turn my income off for this settlement, and it just about saves me, giving me -6 from 93. So that'll give me -99, one away from the rebellion. But then I make this fatal error of moving my hero out of the region, and that costs me 1 control, and that puts me in a rebellion. Oh, scheisse. So I made a crucial error there. It might still have gone to rebellion anyway on the next turn, who knows, but still, having to manage my control much more in this. If I was going back and doing this again, I wouldn't have done that loot and occupy and would have just normal occupied to save on the control penalty. On to the next turn, and there's the rebellion in all its glory. It's a Greenskins army, of course. I decide to keep pushing on, though, with my main army, as I did before in Very Hard. But alas, the magical attrition still gets me. I feel like I'm just missing something really obvious, but I don't know, it seems weird. I can encamp anyway, so not a huge deal. I also decide to make a defending army back at home because of that rebel army, so I'm going to try and defend against them with a small army that I can just about afford. Initially, I decide to defend the smaller garrison Dragonhorn Mine, but as that rebel army grows, I become a little bit too worried about my main settlement, so I decide to defend that instead. If they take my smaller settlement, fine, I can just go and take it back. It shouldn't be a huge deal. Pressing on with the plan, though, pushing the Scabby now, taking this settlement where there's a small army, smaller than the one that was there in Very Hard anyway. A close victory I decide to auto-resolve. Doesn't come out too badly in terms of losses, so it's all good. After I take the settlement, though, I realize, oh, hold on, I didn't get any confederation. So I guess that wasn't their leader. So I go in search of him with my hero to try and find out where he is. No sign over here. Through the next turn, and the top knots come a knock-in, and they want a non-aggression pact. And once again, they're at war with Scarbrand. I don't want anything to do with them. I don't want to piss off Scarbrand at this point. So I say good day, sir. Back to my search for the Scabby Eye leader, Spiked Backbiter. I discover that this time around they've got an extra settlement that they didn't have before. They've been a little bit more aggressive. They've got Iron Rock as well, and that's where he is residing, the cheeky little git. And I think this is more legendary in action here. This faction had more money and is more aggressive, thus they've expanded a little more. And what's more, Barak Var looks like they might be going after him, so it's playing out differently than before. Back to the rebellion situation, and they've decided to attack my main settlement as expected, and this works out great for me as my army is stationed there, so I can attack them and obtain a Pyrrhic victory. Beautiful. That gets me rid of the rebellion. I can now disband this army. I'm back on track with the plan to maybe get this to play out as it did before. And to the situation of those ogres at this point, I now remember, oh, I need to tell them to leave, so I do that. But notice that their army has grown more than it did before. At turn 13 in the Very Hard version, the army was still small as it was the first time I saw it. But in this legendary version, it's double the size at turn 9. So the extra money and less upkeep cost probably coming into play there. For now, though, they're not doing me any harm. They're not even raiding me, so it's not a huge deal. Should be fine, right? Right? Please? On to the next turn, and more fun has arisen. An Undercity this time. Those cheeky rats, what are they like? Nice of them to not do it in my last campaign, but this is another just chance thing, right? Just chance that this happens. It happened this time around. No big deal, though. It's easy enough to get rid of. Just cost me a little bit of money. No worries. Maybe this was the cause of my phantom attrition? The fun hasn't stopped there, though, as I now have another plague. So that's my second plague and a Skaven Undercity, none of which happened in my Very Hard campaign. Back up north, I decide to push on Barak de Wazbag anyway and take that off the Scabby Eye, just to keep things as they were before, but also because there's a chance that the leader might come over and try to take it back, and then I can take him out and gain both of those settlements. I decide in my main province, though, to keep the army that I had to take out the rebellion and use it to try and take out these ogres before they get too big, just in case. Recruiting a few more boys. I don't really have the money for this, but I'm just going to try and take them out quick and then disband the units. That's the plan. Over the AI's turn, another nearby Greenskins faction tries to get non-aggression with me, but I notice he's at war with Clan Moors. If I take this agreement, it's going to piss off Clan Moors, and there's more chance that they'll come after me, so I'm going to say no, trying to keep Clan Moors on side. Over with the Scabby Eye, I notice that there's no sign of their leader anywhere. They've got one army, but it's not led by their leader, and I can't seem to find the bastard. So this situation is overall just a bit awkward. I'm not really sure what to do here, so I just ignore it and decide to press on, trying to take out Barak Var as I did before. Ending this turn and on to the next, and oh scheisse, Scarbrand is initiating diplomacy. Please be a non-aggression, please be a non-aggression, please be a non-aggression. Shit. No, this is fine. This is absolutely fine. It's just Scarbrand. It's just Scarbrand. I've got a little army down here that I was going to use on the ogres. I can just use it to defend against Scarbrand, right? I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. It's no big deal. It's just one extra war, more than I had before, so it's not a huge... Scraggy? Scraggy, remember all the good times? Non-aggression? Oh, fun times this turn. Really fun time. Oh. Well, looks like the Scabby have made their move, taking back the Wurrzag. So that brings some clarity to that situation at least. I realized that neither of these armies you can see here are the leader though, so I still couldn't find out where he was. I was trying to see if he was still the leader or maybe someone else. But in doing this, I noticed that, oh, I can actually get peace with the Scabby, which sounded like a great idea considering Scrag and Skarbrand have just declared war on me. So I opted for that, especially as I can just go and find their leader later and bop him on the nose and take all his stuff. Despite all this tomfoolery though, I decided to press on and try to keep the plan the same as it was before achieving what I achieved in the very hard campaign. There's always a chance that the factions that have declared war on me won't really bother me for a while. And hey, one good thing is that the army here at Barak Var is smaller than it was before, so that's a plus, I'll take it. Back down south and things are pretty calm currently, so nothing to worry about there. The only thing slightly alarming is the full stack of ogres that has now built itself up because I've left it too long. If all they're going to do is stand there, that's fine with me. I'm going to send my army down south just in case old Skarbrand comes along. So we got some security down south and my other army up north. We're not too bad. Rolling through to the next turn and oh, look at that. 2 more plagues. Absolutely lovely. Just what Papa Nurgle ordered, I guess. That's going to mess with my already struggling control. Wonderful. Moving through to the next turn, and we get our first look at Scrag, who decides to attack me at Barak Var, where I've just taken. So we're going to have to try and fight him off. Not quite a full stack, so could be manageable. Oh, Malagor the Dark Omen. This can't be good. Oh. Alright, I think that might be a GG, boys, on this campaign. He's actually attacking me at one of my settlements as well down south. I am going to fight this battle and try and fend him off, though. Do as much damage as I can to this army. And, well, that went about as well as you'd expect. I took half the health off the giant, at least. That's good, right? That's something. Alright, let's check out the Scrag situation first of all. What's the battle like? A valiant defeat. I reckon I can win that. Their army doesn't look too tough. I reckon I can win that if I fight it, so we'll do that in a minute. Let's check out what's happened down south first, though. Oh, shit it. Skarbrand's here as well with a full stack. Oh no. Malagor's, I think that's it. I think we're done here. But no, it's not over yet. I took on Scrag's boys and was able to win this battle quite comfortably. They did sit there getting shot for a while very kindly, but I was able to defend Barak Var and not take too much damage to my army in the process. I am going to make the mistake here, though, of not chasing down and finishing off this army, which I really should have done, but that's the least of our problems. Okay, back down south. Let's see if we can solve this situation. It's not over yet. I'm going to recruit a lord and try and get as many units as I can before someone besieges me, which may be 0 turns. But it's the only choice we've got, so we're going to give it a goddamn good go, and we'll see what happens. Turns out Skarbrand is what happens as he besieges my precious settlement, and there that one goes, becoming his, the bastard. But hey, in a situation like this, you got to expect to lose a settlement. Or 2, apparently, as Malagor goes for my other one. And this is fine. This is absolutely fine. I've got them exactly where I want them. This was my plan all along. It's going perfectly. As is the situation up north, where Scrag is now besieging me again, because I didn't finish that army off. But luckily, I can get a Pyrrhic victory here, but for the sake of losing all my units, I'm going to fight it, and we'll come away without losing any units, which is nice. And then I'm going to make sure I goddamn finish those armies off this time, and that's going to be Scrag pushed back for now, at least for now. So that's the situation in the north controlled. Whether any of that matters, though, depends on the situation in the south. And oh, by the way, I got another plague. But if that wasn't the final nail in the coffin, guess who it's going to be to actually finish me off and declare war on me? It's those fucking ogres! I don't think I can think of a more fitting end for this campaign. But the one thing that I didn't do at the start of the campaign is come back to bite me in the ass. Even though, you know, I was probably screwed anyway from Skarbrand and Malagor, but still, that's pretty funny. But there we go, Skarbrand is besieging me. That settlement's screwed. My other ones are screwed. This campaign is over. But I think it's interesting how much it highlights the difference and the jump in difficulty between very hard and legendary. Very hard honestly felt almost easy because I was able to just kind of flow through things and get provinces pretty easy. Whereas this, as you can see, there's so much more that's thrown at you. All the plagues. How many did I have? 4 or 5 plagues. I had the Undercity. I had the random attrition. I've had all these factions declare war on me and push on me very aggressively, very quickly. And that's something that happens when you crank up the difficulty. The AI becomes more aggressive. And this is at turn 17, and I've had Malagor, Skarbrand, and Scrag all declaring war on me in a short space of time. So yeah, it shows the difference between the two difficulties and how differently you'd have to play to pull off this campaign in Legendary. Obviously, if I wasn't trying to match what I did in Very Hard, I would have come back down south probably when Skarbrand declared war on me and prepared for him. I would have completely ignored Barak Var and the Scabby and not even messed around with any of that. But to be honest, with the way this campaign is now, I'm probably still kind of playing it like it's the Warhammer 2 version. Really, I need to come down south because I need to take all of the Badlands, which means I need to go to war with Scarbrand and Clan Moors anyway at some point, so better to do those and just ignore the dwarfs and hope they don't come after me. But there it is, the difference between very hard and legendary. This has really reinforced to me why I play on very hard and I don't enjoy legendary, because you either have to cheese it or you have to play like super efficiently, neither of which greatly appealed to me. And I'm sure there's plenty of people that enjoy playing this way. They enjoy the challenge of it. They enjoy having to figure out and using the cheese to get the job done. And it's just a different way to play the game. But there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Thank you to all the patrons who support this channel. And hey, you want to know some secrets of leadership? Check out this video. I'll see you in the future.